a senior living community
Correct.
on that property at a later date? Mm-hmm. Okay. So, I
Which
mean,
will be a benefit to both ends. He and I have talked a little bit about how we can collaborate, and the way the QAP reads, if a community is funded or receives funds for a development, you cannot claim 4 points for 4 years. So you're talking, 4 years would transpire, before potentially, unless we did, a different tenancy, or if the QAP changes, because like I said, you never know. And what scores this year may not score next year. That's why you see kind of developers pop in and pop out. And I was in a, community and economic development position at the City of Americas, and that's how I met the company. And I liked AEP and VOA because they owned their own construction company, they owned their own property management. And it just was very fluid to me. So at the end of the day, the same person, I was dealing with could help me with all pieces. So.
My last thing, and I'll couple these two together, long-standing issues and long-term effects of this property. And that would encompass Mayor Dennis' questions.
what would we expect, like 10, 15, 20 years down the line with your company?
Oh, they would
if
stay
you
up
sell
to the quality.
complex or whatever,
We
are
cannot.
these same standards going to be maintained?
We have never, number one, we cannot. We are locked in for 20 years with the tax credits. And all of our properties in Missouri included, we have always reapplied for tax credits again, rehab the development, as it is, or we could go to market rate. I think that they have done that with a few of our properties in Missouri, and it's been kind of difficult because, you're going from having the workforce housing rent to really high rent. So this will be a mixed development. There will be a few market rate units in the development. So, but we always have redone them, basically, to answer your question.
Okay. I've heard from the right side of my brain. You have anything?
I'm good.
I'm here from the left side.
Oh, I'm fine with it.
Okay. Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I do have, so kind of sum it up, I want to make sure I understand. So the talk about the government being involved is.
It's not government housing. That's the stigma we fight.
That just comes from the fact that you're seeking
It's
funding.
a federal program that investors get. We are the tax credit developer, and we get the credits. Investors buy them, so they're the ones who essentially are putting money into our deals. They're able to write off dollar for dollar,
And
which is why it's attractive to them. I mean, it's a brilliant program.
Does the government mandate how, like the standards that you use in
Absolutely.
renting apartments?
Absolutely. That's
Okay,
why we
so
have to keep it to
there
a
is
standard.
a standard there.
That is
So
the standard. It
Are
has
they
to
the
be.
one that tell you about, like, okay, you need to verify
Yes,
the folks' income?
absolutely.
Okay, so that's the standard the government sets for you.
That's the standard that we have to adhere to. Correct.
Okay.
This was, and it's bipartisan. It's supported bipartisan, and it was created under Tax Reform Act, 1986, maybe. I think that's right. So, and every state gets tax credits. It's up to each state to depend how they want to distribute the tax credits. Georgia's is competitive, the way I've described it. It's a fair process, in my opinion. There's some states, they just send in an email and say, hey, we're going to apply for it. And it's interesting how they divvy it up.
So you don't adjust your, what you're saying is you don't adjust your rent for apartment basis based on people's income, though?
No.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a standard.
Okay.
Can you clarify, maybe that might help, in regards to subsidized multifamily housing with regards to workforce housing that y'all.
Right.
What
So-
is the difference?
So, like I said, anything that's subsidized, they typically don't pay taxes. They get subsidies like Section 8 vouchers, things of that nature. It's a totally different program. The subsidy, per se, with those is going to the resident. There's no subsidy. The tax credits are given to the investors and the developer. So it's different in that end.
So in this case, the program gives, like, say your company or whatever company wants to development, it gives them encouragement to go to a
You
certain
got
area
it.
and develop that maybe
That's right.
otherwise they wouldn't go into.
That's right.
Okay.
And that's why the state of Georgia actually separated it into two categories. There's a rural and a flex. So the Atlanta market, their scores look a little bit different. Like last year, I think a 52 was the highest score, whereas rural like the highest scoring applications were 59. So of course, since I do mostly rural, I'm like, yeah, my applications look good, you know, because it's just a higher score because there's more of a need. And, you know, our investors will fly in sort of unannounced and check out the properties and make sure they're all good with it. So, I mean, you know, we want to make sure they're happy with it too. I mean, we have investors like Philadelphia Travelers, Sherwin-Williams, that's another one of our big ones, BB, ABC, whatever the banks. I'm sorry, I'm not on that part of the company. I just, excuse me, find sites and do the city and county government thing. So,
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much.
thank you.
Thank you.
so much.
Is there another citizen here that would like to go to the podium and participate during the public hearing? Sir?
Hi, my name is Danny Falk. I live at 1600 Walrod Avenue. My concerns basically, I mean, you know, it all sounds wonderful. It really does. The senior living, everything sounds wonderful. But I've worked in this community for 30 plus years as a phone guy. I've been to every apartment complex you can imagine here, and everything starts out great. I mean, it starts out wonderful, and then it progressively gets worse. What kind of assurances do you know when that happens? I mean, you know, they say that our property values or the taxes values will go up, but when things go down, property values, I mean, you know, it could say your house is worth 110,000, but it's no good if you can't sell it for 60.
We keep these up because we are required to, and we do not want to risk investors not investing in us. I mean, it would bankrupt us, so.
I mean, you know, like I said, or like Mr. Dennis said, this is a very quiet, diverse community. You can let your kids go out and play. You don't have to worry about, you know, and with high traffic, you know what follows high traffic, you know, drug dealers and all that. They're going to come around, you know, because of the traffic. Crime follows traffic. I mean, you know, the more traffic, more people you have, the more opportunity. And that's a major concern for every property owner here involved. And, you know, those, you know, I don't know how you can give assurances, you know, that things will stay that way because, like I said, when you add more people, things change.
I guess the only assurance I can say is that we've been doing it since the 1970s, so.
But like I said, you know, the more people you add, the more, you know, things, you know, kind of get out. And I mean, things start out great. Like I said, every apartment complex we've had here, you know, they start out great, but as it progresses, things get worse and worse and worse.
What's your opinion of the Gables? You been through there?
The Gables, it's kind of quiet, and the senior living facility, that's quiet, you know. But you know, the Gables have been there a while, but like I said, it's kind of off by itself until the senior living thing. But you know, everywhere we've got close proximities, you know, like we'll say Georgia Wood, Amberwood, Estes.
What do you think about
Deerfield.
Estes Park? That's one of the newer ones.
It's one of the newer ones, but you know, like I said, when it started out, it was real nice. But you can see the progression.
So are we saying that this complex is gonna be like Estes Apartments and
I hope not. But like I said, you know, it's hard for anybody to
But now,
give assurance.
Estes is subsidized,
It is.
right? It is a,
No,
no, it's
It's
not
not
housing
housing
authority,
authority.
but it's a subsidized rent type complex.
So, I mean, Pine Meadows, I can see Pine Meadows.
Yeah.
That's ours, and we're gonna, it's gonna be upheld to a standard. I mean, your local ordinances also stipulate certain things as well, so.
Do y'all have an idea what the rental range is going to be, or is it too early to tell?
It's a little, I mean, we've had a market study already completed. It just really depends on, if it's a 3-bedroom or a 1-bedroom. I mean, I can give you a range.
get a commissioner a ballpark? Mayor, I'm gonna give you opportunity to redirect.
1-bedroom, it's probably gonna be around 500.
And the income's gonna have to be 3 times that?
I was about to say, I was about to say 500 for a 1-bedroom, that's a market rate.
Yeah, I got you.
So-
I just think that proves that for the caliber of people that I think that most of these folks here are looking for, it should fit, I would think.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be a rent of around, $795.
Go buy a house.
Really.
What they do?
Okay, excellent.
And like I said, yeah, it's a beautiful community. It's quiet, and you know, we do everything to keep it that way. We can.
Okay.
Like I said, that's my main concern is that you know we kind of keep the community like it is.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
I appreciate it.
As promised, Mayor Dennis,
What we got next?
no? Give him an opportunity. Mayor
Good, thank you,
Dennis?
Mayor. Just two points, just like to, we discussed the traffic, I don't know if we ever got the traffic. When you have 0 families there and 0 cars there, and you're gonna have 46 apartments there, the traffic has to increase. That's just common sense. You can't compare this property to Pine Meadows because it's two different clienteles. Pine Meadows is 55 and over, senior living, where like Commissioner Gowan said, those folks live over there, they stay in most of the time unless there's a few of them that drive themselves. You can't compare these two properties as far as what clientele is going to be there or how it's going to affect the neighborhood. I just can't see how you can compare. That's apples and oranges,
Okay.
Mr. Mayor. Just, I don't think I don't think anybody here is against a senior living center there, because
Okay.
we know about Pine Meadows and what that brings, what that does to a community. That brings value, it brings peace, it brings tranquility, because those are older senior citizens that are settled in their ways.
Agreed.
Our concern is families of 5 with young children. To this gentleman's point, anytime you subject yourself to some unwarranted security problems, even, I don't care, you can have cameras, you can have pictures, you can have police, the police can't be there all the time.
Exactly.
It's just a concern of the safety for the residents over there and the residents in their property.
Okay,
And I know they have ways to get them out, but thank you, Mayor, I appreciate it.
okay.
I will say, people who are
Let's,
55 and older can still live there as well. I mean,
Okay.
it's just depending on who gets on the waiting list,
List.
who qualifies and needs to see.
Okay, because I'm sitting here and I'm trying to figure out how many complexes in the city of Douglas where the rent is $600. And that's just one bedroom. How many places that we know that are apartment complexes where the rent is $600 and it escalates
The one
up
right
to,
across there from, used to be Summer Landing.
and then escalate up to $800.
My niece lived with that.
It escalates up to $800.
That's the cables.
So that is a very small percentile where this rent is. Because I'm sitting up here thinking, $100,000 for a house, you're gonna be somewhere around $650, that's with PMI. That's principal, insurance, all that.
Can't get a loan, Mayor.
Can't get a loan. Can't get a loan.
Banks won't loan you. That's the problem. That's why there's so much rental property, so many rentals going on in the city. Ask Mr. Harper.
Yeah.
Where's he at?
He's right there.
That's why he's thinking about putting in rental property. That's why his son's in the rental property business, because people can't get loans to even buy the $100,000 houses because of bad credit or job history or something like that. So
Also a good point. I can live with that. Mr. Harper's back there. Is there anybody else? Mr. Harper, do you want to say something? You're the developer over there. Please state your name, address.
I'm Jerry Harper. I live at 1282 Woodrow Harper Road, Ambrose, Georgia. And I've been living in this community for years. I know a lot of y'all folks, and everything that I hope I've got a good reputation here in the community. I sure try to. And but anyway, when I first acquired this property years ago, I didn't know what I was wanted to do with it. And but anyway, I planned on a retirement community here, and that was back before the recession. And as a matter of fact, I was about to pull the trigger on it back then, and I was talking with some of the city officials back then, and I was talking about getting water and sewer brought in to the project. And, well, the city wouldn't participate. And I can tell you, that's one of the problems we got here in Douglas, Georgia, is we'd have a lot more development if the city would help with the infrastructure. They're gonna get revenue from it. And, this particular piece of property happens to have, water and sewer. So, but anyway, what I was intending on doing with the project is do a plan development. And I've got a plan that Dale has, I don't know. It could change a little bit, but, you know, my vision is to do a good project. And, so, I met Mandy. She came to me. She had already looked at another piece of property that, anyway, it turned out that it just didn't work. And so I met with her. I know some of her in-laws over in Osceola. Anyway, fine folks. And I discussed whether we started off talking about senior living. And she came to me and she said that, you know, she just didn't know if it'd fly this year. It might at a later time, but anyway, she said that she felt more comfortable with this other project. And I was just like other folks here. I was concerned about it. And after talking with her, she reassured me the quality of the project. And so, anyway, you know, I've got to take her for her word.
Well, and I'll tell you, we have 3 in Tifton. Those are close by. West Haven Senior Residences, Tifton Estates. We're about to do a second phase in Tifton. Nashville, we had a property that's just funded, so it's about to be under construction. So these are close by. You can go and see the Ware Hotel in Waycross is ours. I can give you a laundry list.
Where's the one at in Tipton, you said?
West Haven is off of, it's that, Carpenter and King Road, out that way.
Yeah.
And we just were funded for a second phase out there.
Okay. Out on the west side.
Correct.
Of
And
town.
Tifton Estates is kind of infill, right in the center of town. That was like I said, it was an infill development. So, but you know, I would encourage you to go check our properties out.
Okay.
And,
Excellent.
see what they look like, which I think Mr. Harper did his little research too, so.
Yeah. Have you had a chance to check out some of their properties and make some inquiries?
I know of their firm, and they do excellent development. But basically, all my information has been from Mandy, and I know of her family, and know of her husband's family. Let me put it like that. And
hearing that from you.
sir,
After hearing that from you, and I seen some of your work before and after, I think it's all right.
appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr.
All
Harper.
right. We've had about a 40-minute public hearing. I think that we've given due diligence to our citizens that are here.
Yeah, we'll officially close it out if you want to, Mayor, and then if you
That's what I'm
wish to
good
close
with.
it out, then you can ask for it.
Right.
Okay.
And we're going to officially close the public hearing. And this is an actionable item. Agreed?
Great.
So at this time, we've heard from the public. Is there any discussion among the council? We'll start over here with Mr. Roper.
Well, I've been in Douglas a few days myself. Well, I'm over here a few days more than me. I watched that land over there later, and now it's fixing to be developed. Even the roller still lives on part of that land used to be. And I think it's a plus.
Okay. Commissioner Moore?
Sounds fine with me.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Thank you, Mayor. First and foremost, let me thank all of the citizens who came out to voice their concern. I'd just like to say, you know, we are always discussing about the possibility of Douglas growing in which I think we all support that. I feel that this would be a plus towards growth. I understand what you all are saying about the traffic concern, and I'm wondering if maybe the developer can take into consideration maybe directing or constructing the development in such a way as to maybe, because I'm not sure where the land is, but maybe to turn it kind of a different way from where you all might be. And this might be something he can do and it might not be. I'm not a developer, so I don't know. But if possible, try to divert the traffic flow a different way from the residential area is my thoughts. But like I said, I am in favor of Douglas growing. I think this will be a positive for us. And I know people are accustomed to being in their area, and when they've been there 30, 40 years, that's what they want. They don't want anything else to interfere with that. And that's understandable, but we have to all take into consideration to move forward and grow. We've got to get outside of our comfort zone sometimes. So Mayor, in saying that, I support the development.
Okay. Commissioner Durham?
I support it.
Yeah, any questions?
No, sir.
Commissioner Gow, any questions, comments?
Yeah.
Before I call for a vote.
Mr. Falk, where did you say that you live? Where is that?
Off the Dolphins.
Right across the road, the First Assembly of God Church.
Okay, just north of there. Okay. Well, I mean, not only do I represent the area, but, you know, I'll be one of those people that would, you know, be impacted by the traffic. We live about 2 blocks from that area, you know, well familiar with that area. We, you know, travel North Wheeler Avenue. Most of the time that's where we go back and forth to take our kids back and forth to school, so we're through there all the time. You know, that community is quiet. There's not much going on there. But echoing some of the comments made by other commission members, you know, we are talking about growth. What impresses me, or what I like to hear, is that, you know, I have a good impression of Mr. Harper and his construction firm. I think they've done a lot of good projects in our community, and they come well recommended from everything that I've seen or known about them. I think they've done their due diligence, and Mandy has been able to answer a lot of questions. You know, I was fine with the idea of having another senior living community after being around and talking to residents at Pine Meadow. It seems to be a very nice place, very well maintained apartments, high quality as best that I can tell, and the residents there are satisfied with the work. So if that is a representation of the kind of work that this company does, you know, to me it speaks well of them. So I mean, I think when you try to balance everything out, you know, I am concerned about the traffic. I think that, you know, our public works department, we're going to have to do something, because Jake will probably tell you that Andrew Street is in bad shape. You know, that area, that Andrew Street and North Daughtry Avenue are not in shape to be able to handle the kind of traffic that what we'll be talking about here with a 52-unit apartment complex. So that's going to have to be addressed if we're going to develop this. And one thing I will gripe about, and, you know, if it's ever brought up, you know, one of my big gripes is that middle school that was put in, and the infrastructure was not, and is still not, been built up to accommodate the high amount of traffic going there. That was short-sighted. So if we are going to allow this development to go forth, then we need to plan ahead, and we need to have the infrastructure to support it in the roads, because if you can take a drive when you get out of this meeting tonight, go down there, and Andrew Street is in bad shape. Is it not, Jacob? Where's he at?
Back, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, he knows. I mean that. So if we're going to go forth, all that stuff needs to be addressed, so we can have something that's, you know, totally high quality, not just the resident itself, but getting to and from, and recognizing the fact. I mean, could be a point we may have to put a traffic signal in. You know, I don't know. I mean, thinking 52 units, 2 cars, you know, it could become, you know, a high traffic area, which is not necessarily a bad thing as long as it's managed. Now, I think from what's been put forth, if we have video surveillance in the complex, you know, and you have, talking about a gate, and well, not a gated necessarily, but, you know, you have the iron fence up, that helps with the concerns about foot traffic and crime. you know, and we're obviously talking about, you know, with income levels and stuff, that it's going to be people. I would expect some of our professionals in the area that are maybe in between transitioning, trying to find a house where they want to live, or they're here on maybe a temporary assignment or something that would be there. I don't anticipate this being, you know, kind of a development that would attract, for lack of a better word, low lives or criminal activity. I don't see it from what I've seen and heard and looked up in the company. So I think overall, I think we need to monitor the development and work with everybody involved to make sure it's done in a way that complements and increases or makes the neighborhood a better place.
Excellent.
And I think it can be done. So I think I would be in favor of it.
Okay. So we've heard from the commission. I'll entertain a motion.
So move.
Second motion.
It's been motion and second. Any further discussion?
Before y'all vote, let me give you one perspective that I hope y'all understand. As y'all do, hopefully move forward with this if y'all so choose. This is a planned development, which means that some of the concerns that y'all have raised, Commissioner Gowan, definitely can be considered. Obviously, I don't know, Mandy, am I?
I was gonna say, we have done call shares with road paving.
Right.
Okay.
So those things can be mitigated in regards to that. That's the beauty of a PD, planned development, that things that y'all, as far as the final acting party,
Excellent.
have
We are
concerns about, those things could be incorporated in relationship to this development going forward, okay? So I just want to put that out there. So we're taking notes on those things
Correct.
that you mentioned. in
And I think
regards
that's a
to
very
that.
good point. If, you know, if we just vote to move forward with this, I would hope that, you know, the residents in that area continue to keep us updated. You know, hey, we have this concern, or we'd like to see this
Exactly.
addressed. So as we develop it or do whatever, these concerns we can make an attempt to address all the concerns.
All right, there's a motion on the floor. It's been properly motioned. Any further discussion? All in favor? All opposed? The motion carries.
Yeah.
Next on the agenda, Charlie, would you tell Commissioner McNeil she can come back?
You back. Need that.
Next on the agenda, we have the second reading of the text amendment ordinance.
This is the second reading of an ordinance to allow the text amendment to the Unified Land Development Code to amend Chapter 3, Table of Permitted Uses to allow funeral homes in the Town Center Commercial District and Industrial M1 District to be conducted. Mr. Jacobs will read the second. We'll read the second have the second reading tonight, and then there's no public hearing on this. You'll just vote on it after the second reading.
She keeps wanting to say second public hearing.
Well, we want to make sure that we give the citizens an opportunity to voice their concerns.
Amen. All right. As ordained, amended the Unified Land Development Code of the City of Douglas, Chapter 3 Zoning District, Table 3-1, Table of Permitted Uses, Commercial, Industrial, Funeral Homes. Be ordained by the Mayor and Commission of the City of Douglas, and hereby ordained by the authority of same from after the passage of this ordinance, Unified Land Development Code of the City of Douglas, adopted by the Mayor and Commission of said City of Douglas on February 28, 2011, as amended and stands amended as follows. Chapter 3 Zoning District, Table 3-1, Table of Permitted Uses, Commercial, Funeral Homes, Industrial, Funeral Homes, is amended to permit funeral homes in commercial town center and industrial M1 zoning districts. Often read for the first time at the regular meeting of the Mayor Commission of the City of Douglas on May the 23rd, 2016, and read for the second time and passed and ordained at the regular meeting of Mayor Commission after the proper advertisement and caption as required by under the charter of the City of Douglas on June the 6th, 2016, and it's ready for action, Mayor.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve this.
Second motion.
It's been motioned and second. Any further discussion?
Discussion.
Discussion.
Discussion. I was not at the last meeting, so this is totally new. Yeah. So this will y'all do to stay there? Okay, okay.
Just cleaning it up.
Okay, thank you, Mayor.
We're good?
Yeah.
Any further discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. Next on the agenda, we have the second reading of the retirement plan